This is getting pretty heated. The judge asking Trump's lawyer, quote, "Can you control your client? This is not a political rally." He is sitting back in his chair, we're told, just pursing his lips. Trump's lawyer is assuring the judge that their client, quote, understands the rules. The judge shot back and said, well, he doesn't abide by them.
It's 2 a.m. and Trump is freaking out, as he should. His world is collapsing in the courtrooms, in the Republican Party, in the polls, and in his rapidly declining cognitive mind.
I want to be a dictator.
So Chubby Fingers does what he does when it gets bad. He gets on his dying Truth Social platform and bangs away.
We have a rigged judge who's working for the Democrat Party and refuses to terminate this case, which should never have been brought by soft-on-crime Alvin Bragg.
Actually, Alvin Bragg has a very impressive conviction rate, which should worry the almighty fat one.
Judge Merchan should immediately be removed, and the appellate courts have to take over. That also applies to the corrupt judge Engoron, who knew I did nothing wrong and still fraudulently fined me $500 million while having no knowledge of valuation, finance, or in any way what he was doing.
Donnie, maybe the judge isn't an expert on valuation or finance, but you are. How much valuation and finance do you need to go bankrupt 6 times?
Nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation.
And for the record, the judges aren't judging you on your criminality. The jurors are.
Same with Judge Kaplan, who allowed a woman who I've never met, celebrity photo line does not count, and I know nothing about, to get a lawless judgment of $90 million.
Okay, this is a great story and an insight into Tiny Fingers. As you know, Trump was eventually found liable for more than $90 million in a civil case saying he raped Jean Carroll. And as Trump is getting his ass kicked during a deposition in Mar-a-Lago, he loses it.
And you could kind of see the wheels spinning in his brain. You could really almost see it. And he said, well, you're here at Mar-a-Lago. What do you think you're going to do for lunch? Where are you going to get lunch? And so I said to him, well, you know, I raised this question with your attorneys yesterday, sir, and they graciously offered to provide us with lunch. At which point there was a huge pile of documents, exhibits sitting in front of him, and he took the pile and he just threw it across the table. We come in the room and I say, I'm done asking questions, and immediately I hear from the other side, off the record, off the record, off the record. So they must have planned it. And he looks at me from across the table and he says, see you next Tuesday. You could tell it was like a kind of a joke, again, like teenage boys would come up with.
I mean, it's just appalling. I mean, he's a pig. And the fact that he was president of the United States makes it all the more distressing. I mean, it was misogynistic. I mean, to call a woman that to her face and trying to be cute about it, I mean, it was just disgraceful and the kind of indecent conduct that you wouldn't expect in any adult. I mean, it was just, I wouldn't even say it was teenage boy level conduct. It was just utterly, utterly childish.
This New York cabal, run by crooked Joe Biden's White House, is a hit job on a political opponent the likes of which the USA has never seen before. For the good of our country, it must be stopped. The crooked Joe Biden witch hunts have to end. Republicans in Washington must take action.
Oh, Donnie, the only Republicans who are out campaigning for you are Dairy Queen and Sean Hannity.
The Congresswoman has another idea as well, banning people who move from blue states to red states from voting for 5 years so they don't bring their bad politics with them. I actually favor that idea.
Everybody else can feel it. You're going down. And the only question is, will you be sane enough to realize it?
The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. At Gettysburg, wow. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow.
Wow. On our Really Political podcast yesterday, Dr. John Gartner, a leading psychiatrist, talks about this moment on the campaign trail.
This thing about the Gettysburg speech, I think what we're seeing more and more is his total disorientation. You know, his not knowing who's president.
Wow. The only thing advancing at a greater pace than his cognitive decline is the number of Republicans smelling his vulnerability.
I will do my part to protect AM radio in our cars. You know, we like to listen to AM radio.
Even Mitch knows you're going down, and he won't even say your name.
We all felt the border was a complete disaster, myself included. And then our nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all.
And the political side reflects a huge number of Republicans who have simply had enough. They swallowed their principles for 8 years, but eventually gravity wins and pulls people back down to reality. Just this week, there was a Republican primary in Pennsylvania, and Trump won, but Nikki Haley, who's not even running anymore, got over 150,000 votes. Wow, when you're the only Republican running and you can't get 80% of the votes, well, that's not a good sign, but it is a sign, just not one that Trump can handle.
Donald Trump should not be leading the Republican Party. I mean, I can't say it enough. I think that his morals are completely misplaced, and someone who is paying off porn stars while his wife is at home pregnant, someone who has been found guilty of sexual assault should not be leading our country.
Trump's panic is visceral and here for everyone to see. Not just the insanity of his late-night tweets, but his courtroom demeanor. Falling asleep in the chair, he can't even control his bodily functions.
Come on, man.
You know, if the prosecution was worried that Trump's presence might intimidate jurors, the exact opposite is happening. Trump resembles Junior in his final days on The Sopranos, unable to recognize people or control his thoughts. And
just this week it was reported that an illegal alien, and you
closing the door on his political future by the minute. But even when Trump stumbles, his arrogance and Tourette-like spittle towards anyone who disagrees with him makes him a loathsome character.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs and disgusting animals.
While we wait for the other criminal cases and the Supreme Court's immunity ruling, which will go against Trump, the angst and the pressure is turning Trump inside out.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how rich you are, that no one is above the law.
Where once Trump saw himself as the man on town big shot, his rapid decline has revealed an even uglier side. An angry, old and confused, bigoted sideshow ready to attack anyone within arm's reach. Which explains why everyone in the Republican Party is positioning themselves for his collapse.
Love of Christ, the stories of the Holy Bible, and the voices of famed evangelical.
Either this summer during his trials or this fall at the ballot box.
Starved Thomas and...
The Republican Party has seen firsthand what happens to those who align themselves with this nasty skin tag.
I have always said that I have serious concerns about Donald Trump.
Are you bound by the RNC pledge?
The RNC pledge, I mean, at the time of the debate, we had to take it to where would you support the nominee? And you had to, in order to get on that debate stage, you said yes. The RNC is now not the same RNC. Now it's
So you're no
Trump's
longer bound
daughter-in-law.
by that pledge?
No, I think I'll make what decision I want to make.
From Rudy to McConnell to Rubio to Michael Cohen to Ron DeSantis, they're all waving goodbye to this obscene chapter in American history with the same message. Donnie, see you next Tuesday.
Who's with me?
Hi, what's up?
Time to pack it up.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Thank you so much for watching. You know, YouTube frequently penalizes my videos for taking on controversial subjects, hurting our ability to earn ad revenue, which we use to hire more hosts and make more videos. We think it's so important to make these videos now and expose a Republican cult. So please join us on Patreon. The link is in the comments. We literally can't make these without you. Thank you so much. For Really American Media,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.